YouTube. Join me on YouTube. Bugao. Mm-mm, 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 mm-mm. Yes, join me on YouTube, people. Let me try and set up. I'm still setting up. YouTube is a whole drama. Now they have something starting on July 29th. Channels will no longer be able to hide their subscriber count. So you don't want us to have privacy anymore. Whatever, YouTube. That thing that you do, I don't like it. I don't like it. Are you guys joining yet? I see two people. If you ain't joining Facebook, YouTube, you ain't joining this lesson. You're gonna miss out. Go subscribe to YouTube. Go subscribe to YouTube. And let's learn YouTube. Don't go me, don't go me, don't go me. YouTube. Subscribe. Yes, sir. Okay, people. Let me see. YouTube is a whole vibe. Like it's a whole setup. It's not like Facebook. You just click and you're gone. Ooh. Okay, let's get going. Are you joining? Have you joined yet? Are you joining? Have you joined yet? Okay. Or you want to stay here? You can. You can. But then I need to position this here. I need to put this here. So it's either you want to go to YouTube, send me stars, then I'll keep this one and position my YouTube people somewhere. You want to send me stars and subscribe to my page. Also, listen to me, people. I said sign your daughters and your sons up so that I can pick a date. If you don't, the month is ending and I need to make my schedule for August. The month is ending, I need to make my schedule for August. So if you really want that class to happen, sign your kids up. Okay, reach me. Signing up means you made the payment. You contacted me and say, hey, Apple, I want to make a payment. The payment is $150. It's $200, but I'm charging you $150. I'm giving a discount for since this is our very first class. You will not regret it. Okay, it's not too expensive. We're talking about 4 weeks. Every week we meet 1 hour, 45 minutes to 1 hour. That is, and you having that 4 times. Imagine going to a therapist. That's a lot of money for one session. So sign up and let your kids come and learn about how these things affect them. It's going to prepare them for the school year coming. This is just in time for the new school year to help them to cope with the changes, especially those going to middle school, where the challenge is to have a middle school, high school, to have some a little bit some. All right. Please change the setting and topic writing. Where on YouTube? On YouTube or here? Miss Cole, on YouTube or here? I want us to do this teaching quickly. The YouTube people are waiting. Hi, Miss Smith, Miss Marlene. Thank you so much. Hi. Yes, on YouTube you can comment. When it's live stream like this, there's a section to comment. I'll see your comment live, just like here you have live. After the video is ended, there's a section you go for the live to comment, that like the one I posted today. So kindly go to YouTube. Okay, I'm gonna log out of here now. Thank you so much for coming to support your girl Echo Worldwide. Okay, thank you for being here. But we are taking it to YouTube because I'm going to teach about something important there. Okay, it's important. Join the YouTube family right now. Thank you. Good night. Thank you so much for supporting. Go to YouTube, Echo Worldwide. Go and look us up, Echo Worldwide. Okay, I would do this whether it's one person watching, 0 person watching, or 10 people watching, or 1,000 people watching. So we're gonna get into the teaching. Thank you all the loyal ones that have showed up here. I appreciate you. If you are new to my channel, I'm a psych nurse practitioner. My name is Mama Yoko Godwins. Oh, my son put a power white. Okay. Anyway, my name is Mama Yoko Godwins. I'm a psych nurse practitioner. I'm a single mother of 2 boys. I am a proud bossy, like I always tell people. I teach here about parental alienation. I teach about mental health. I provide support. I provide mental health coaching. And now I am trying to also add classes. You can reach me for your daughters, for your sons, classes for yourself. If you need some consultation on your family law matter, anything that has to do with the family law, anything that has to do with the system, I may be able to help you. If don't wait till it's at the worst state before you come. Come when the case is beginning to start, before you ever get to go to court. I can guide you to know certain things to prepare for, and also to know what to ask your lawyers or request through your lawyers, and what to be insistent on. Because most of the time, they'll take the money and they'll be smiling at you and making you feel like they got this. Soon as you sign that retainer, that's it. They will now tell you nothing is promised. Okay. So make sure you contact me if you have any family law matter like that, custody, divorce, stuff like that. Okay. Hi, Miss Grant. Good evening. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you. Hi, Miss Taylor. Thanks for being here. So yes, that is who I am. Paperwell White came about when myself, I went through a serious situation with divorce, abuse, parental alienation, whereby I'm not allowed to see my kids. Why? Because the court says you can see your kids. The narcissists don't want you to see your kids, and it became a game. And it's still till today, I go through parental alienation. It is what it is. I have lived this life and I have learned from it, and this is where we are now. I extend it to you. I extend the experience and the knowledge and expertise to you, so you will learn about the harmful effects of parental alienation so that you don't do it. I want you to disengage from anything parental alienation. I was telling you guys on Facebook earlier, if you were following me on Facebook. Hi, Stella Cole. Hi, Miss Cole. I'm glad you came. You made it. Hi, Connie. Hi. You see, parental alienation is a phenomenon that it is us that is nurturing. It is a crime against a child, but who is committing this crime? It is the parents. The parents who are supposed to advocate, protect these children, it is them that are committing this crime against their own children. And that is where the problem lies when it comes to parental alienation. Meaning that you are psychologically grooming and changing the normal aging process of your child. Miss Cole has already showed us that love, guys. I told you you can show love here. See, send us some love. The stars over there. Here, you just look. It says give, and you give us love. Thank you so much, Miss Cole, for your support. So you see, when it comes to parental alienation, the child's brain, the synaptic cells in the brain, right? They are developing until they are like for boys, they are like 26 years old before they stop. When you are telling the child that you should not love this parent, you should hate this parent because this parent don't love you, you're making the child have false beliefs about the parent and make the parent think that they are not loved. I don't know how to put your comment up right there, right there, right there. Yes. I don't, you are teaching the child to hate a parent, and that child don't know any better. That child begins to question themselves and ask themselves, why? They begin to start being hostile towards the other parent. They begin to question themselves, does this parent truly love them or not? What is the deal? So they are constantly battling in their brain, thinking about, but she said this, but my dad says this, or my mom said this. So they are constantly confused and battling as to who is telling them the truth. Eventually, these things become a burden for them. They go to bed, they can't sleep. They go to their friends, everybody is playing. They are there, but they are not there. They'll be there, and then their brain will be here. You get to a point, they'll have anxiety, they have panic attacks. And these are the reasons why I'm telling you parental alienation is not good. Because parental alienation goes beyond even these things I'm just telling you. Children with parental alienation syndrome, and some majority can end up becoming drug addicts. They can end up becoming alcohol dependent. They can end up becoming violent people, hostile people, people that end up incarcerated. Because what? If you are not careful, the child becomes somebody that develops antisocial personality disorder. That child can end up in jail in no time. These are kids that fight a lot in school. These are kids that go into brutality, they set fire into buildings. They see a car, they vandalize people's property. And all these habits are developed in children because of who? A parent, a caregiver, a grandmother, an auntie. Because, oh, my brother, if you don't bring the child, my brother can send you chop money anymore. My brother is in abroad. He says you should bring me the child. So, aunties and uncles, thank you. Hey, Miss Cole, send another. People, hurry up and come and support like Miss Cole is. Okay, people. All right. You see what I'm saying? So you can send support here too, just like Facebook. So if Facebook is starts here, it's a different form. I don't know the names, but I think my son should help you set it up again. Usually you should have a badge. I have like Junior Me or the at the class signs in my based on what you purchase, it's an at the class sign badge that goes next to your name. You see, so today I want to talk about some of these things and the topic a little bit I want to touch on. I don't want us to last here long. So I have this topic that I want us to talk about, and it has to do with anxiety. Anxiety that affects children, that goes to parental alienation. Okay, I want us to talk about it. Anxiety that affects children, that goes to what? Parental alienation. And this thing is children and high anxiety related to parental alienation. According to this article, children that have that are exposed to parental alienation, that have parental alienation syndrome, majority of them, guess what happens to them? The anxiety level is 10 times more than other kids that are going to divorce. So if you have a child that you are going to divorce, your family is going to divorce right now, right? As a family is going to divorce right now, everybody, you see, that's one reason why I feel like with YouTube, you are always having to adjust yourself for them, the people to see your full figure. Okay. When a mother, a father children, everybody is going through divorce, right? The change in the family structure places distress on everybody, no doubt. Whenever there's a change, a major change like that, it affects everybody, no doubt. However, researchers said it affects children that when they are going to divorce, children that are going to divorce, but also have a parental alienation component, meaning they have a parent that is fighting to alienate one parent, that is fighting to prove that he's the best parent, that is fighting for all this. That parent is harming the child because it's putting the child at increased risk of having anxiety. That child's anxiety level becomes what? It becomes tenfold than regular. So let's read this. We started reading this, but let's read it here. We started reading it on Facebook. So if you are there, you probably listened to the first part already, but let's do it again for the benefit of those who are just coming. Divorce and separation cause a level of anxiety and distress to all involved, especially children. Changes in a familiar structure, meaning a family structure, is filled with what? Sadness, anxiety, and fear of the unknown. We know that, right? However, anxiety in children is increased tenfold in situations where the children are also at risk or placed in a situation where they are being alienated from the one parent or another parent. Children are trapped in what is called a vicious cycle of parental alienation, of the feeling of guilt and anger. So that when you are causing, you are stimulating or triggering or manipulating your kids to alienate another parent and to gaslight another parent and to make them think like the other parent is a bad person, when you know very well clearly it's not because that parent is a bad person, but it is for you yourself to your selfish gain, because you want to win over the court case, you want to get child support, you want to do this, you want to do that. So you are conditioning the child and making their brain think one way versus the right way about their other parents, so that they can come and lie for you sometimes, to come to court, lie for you about and say things against the other parent so that it will favor you, it will be in your support. You see how it goes. Now they are telling you that those kids, right, they are at risk of increased anxiety. And we've been doing the anxiety episodes for a while now, so you should know the symptoms of anxiety. These kids sometimes don't sleep at night. They wake up with nightmares. They wake up screaming. They wake up yelling from their sleep. Sometimes you have a child wake up yelling, leave me alone, just because of how they are being dragged to not go with another parent, but stay here with us. And that is what one parent or a caregiver or an aunt or an uncle or a grandmother who engages in parental alienation, that's the harm they are doing to their own child or children. You understand? So the children are trapped. I was describing this earlier, where the kids feel angry, they feel guilty, they blame themselves, they think they are at the cause of their parents' divorce. Why would you want to do that to any child? Why would you want to do that to your own children? You see that? Okay. The guilt is associated with a reaction of the rejected parent, and anger is due to what? The influence of the parent causing the alienation of the other parent. So it's two things, right? They go through guilt, they go through anger. So the guilt is associated with the reaction of the rejected parent, because these children now are made to hate one parent, and that puts them at a situation where they feel guilty. I'm being made to hate this parent. I know I'm being made to hate this parent in most parts, if a child that have conscience, and it makes them feel guilty. Imagine like you have a child that is being harmed. You call CPS, you reported, right? CPS went, and then the child is told to say that the injuries it happened in your home. The next minute you pick that child up, and the child can look up to you in your face, and the child feel nervous around you, and the child is looking at you like as if you do something to them. That is because of parental alienation. because now they are feeling guilty that, oh, I lied about my mom and now I have to face her. I lied about my dad, now I have to face him. The manipulation, the psychological manipulation that you are causing your children is harmful. So they go through all these guilt. And it's what? It brings tense. It brings unhealthy relationship between them and this parent that you are alienating them from. And guess what happens? That unhealthy relationship, it brings trust issues. Your child will grow up, form relationships. How would the child learn how to form healthy relationships, a trusting, loving relationship? When you have forced him, all you ever expose him to is unhealthy, unkind, unloving, malicious relationships. How would that child grow up to love themselves enough to extend love to somebody else? Think about it. Then, so that's the guilt part. Then we're talking about the anger part. So now they feel angry, and the anger is directed to the person that, so you see how it goes. Anger is directed to the parent that is doing the alienation. The parent that is eventually, I was teaching this the other day on YouTube, on Facebook. The parent that causes and engages in alienation, guess what happened? When these children grow up to get to the position where they realizes that, you lied to them, they become angry, they become revengeful, they don't want to associate with you. They are not happy. You see the stress that you have caused your own children. So that's what I keep saying, that you as a parent, you are the criminal when it comes to parental alienation. Don't ever think that when there is a divorce, that is when there is parental alienation. Parental alienation also happens in marriages where both parents are living together. Meaning that, oh, I'm the only woman, I'm the woman and I'm paying all the bills. So when they talk, they control and manipulate the kids to the point where there is no respect for father in the house. So when they talk, the children listen. When father talks, nobody listens. Father is an alcoholic, so when he go and drink and come and stay there, then children and mommy will be mocking and teasing. Oh, look, this one. You see, so eventually these kids learn to not respect the other parent. They learn to not take the other parent seriously. If there's a problem like that, alcoholism and stuff, seek help, seek the right help. Therapy is there, AA programs are there. Medication management is there for alcoholics to help them suppress their cravings so that they don't end up with those harmful effects of alcoholism. There are medications. So what do you want to do? You want to end up having your kids go through all this stress, psychological stress, because you have exposed them to not only the parental alienation, not only the divorce on its own, and its stresses that comes with it. Now parental alienation too. And now as a result, anxiety, having nightmares when they sleep. Why would you not put the kids' needs first? I keep teaching that every child needs both parents. Whether the parent is present or not, let the child know this is your parent. She's just not there. You can try. I try to see if he will be engaging, he will be there for you, he will do it. He hasn't. Okay, let's see what you would do as a result. Let's see, so that you see what I'm saying. Okay. What can we do to help it better? We teach the child, this is the father, you can reach him. Let the child try. The father still refuses, the child gets to make their own informed decision to continue considering them or continue living their life. You understand? I am a person that is teaching that nobody should engage anybody in parental alienation. However, if you finish, the kids should also know that, hey, when I finish, I'm raising you. I'm doing it all. When that child finally grow up and that father come and is coming to lie to them, oh, it's your mother that this is your mother that, the child knows that you have done your part. The child knows that you have given them the contact. They have tried to send email. They have tried to say, I'm going back to school. Can you help me with back to school supplies? Can you do that? Whether they are present or not, let the child be involved, especially at my kids' age, especially where they are more older and are informed. Send the emails together. My school fees is this. I need this and that for my hostel fee this college, this school year in college. How can you please help me? Don't, the child don't have to ask how much can he help. It's his duty or her duty. So how much he can help, the child don't have to say, how much can you help me with it? You just request it. So whatever they can help you with, fine. It's their duty to reach back and say, oh, here it is, or let me talk to your mom, or let me talk to your dad. So what are we, our son said this and that and that. So what are we doing about it? This is how much I can afford though, because of this and that and that. Okay, well, Fabre, bring it like that. You see what I'm saying? But if you don't do it at all, and you are alienating them, guess what? You are going to be the blamer. They are the one that will face the blame. They're going to grow up be revengeful towards you. They're going to grow up to be hateful and bitter towards you when in fact you did everything. I said, I have people told me they have paid for their kids 4-year college and they finished and they will not talk to them. They will not interact. They won't want nothing to do with them because they feel like they have lied to them about their father. I don't think you want that. So it's important that you engage the fathers and just numb yourself from the pain. You just don't deal with them. Any conversation that has to be extra, you just walk away from it. It's about our son, our daughter, right? Okay, I'm ready to talk about anything about that. But other than that, no. You don't engage in any other co-curricular conversations. It should be straightforward. And you go keep it going unless you have that kind of healthy relationship where you can even just your ex is your friend, he's involved in the baby's life in a healthy way, asks you, oh, so which college do you want? I think you should go to this college. Research about this college is excellent. I think he do well in this college. I think he will do well in this college. That kind of ex is a different way you communicate with. And in that kind of ex, like those we had to, it's a different way. You make it straightforward to the point, straightforward, simple, and short, and you keep it moving. Now it's up to them to respond or not. Otherwise, you don't do nothing. You don't engage in that. Okay? The kids go through guilt directed at who? The targeted parent. So in the parental alienation vicious cycle, the victim, the parent who is a victim is called the targeted parent. The abuse or the alienation is directed at her. And then the alienator is the one who does the alienating. Okay. In my case, I was the targeted parent. Okay. So the child feels guilty, directs the guilt towards the targeted parent because they know they are wrong. They know they are abusing you, but they don't know how to come clean about it. So they feel guilty. And eventually, when they grow up and they realize that you, the alienating parents, you have done them harm, now they direct anger at the alienating parent. And that those anger and those feelings are real. They can be very real, people. Okay. A child does not have the capacity to fully understand and manage these feelings. And they shouldn't have to mitigate, right? Mitigate their response to the separation or divorce. Okay. I read this wrong. I said a child does not have the capacity to fully understand and manage these feelings, and they shouldn't have to do it. And that is true. And it continued to say that mitigating their responses or their response to the separation or divorce is difficult enough. But the added pressure of feelings as if they need to hate another parent or alienate the other parent is traumatic and what? Incomprehensible. And that is true. You're going through divorce, the kids don't fully understand the scope of it yet. So they just know that, I woke up today, as much as I would love to see my mom or my dad, he's not there. And I don't have control over it. And I feel like I've lost power. I feel like it's because of me. I feel like that this is why it's because of me. It's all me. I'm the reason why daddy left mommy. And then mommy is stressed. So as a result of mommy's stress, they also take on some of those stresses. You see how detrimental it can be for them, and they become stressed, traumatized, psychologically distressed, full of anxiety. They go to school, they can't focus because they have parties in the school. You adults, how does that happen to you? How does these things occur to you when you are under this kind of stresses? So you can imagine how much stress it is causing to the child. Think about it. You can imagine how much stress is causing to the child that you are trying to alienate. You understand? It's more complicated for them. So anxiety is brought on by a feeling of worry or fear. Why are they worried? For the unknown. Now that daddies cannot come in every day. Oh my gosh. Who's going to help me with that math homework? Oh my gosh. So if mom don't come home now, what should I do? People, it is no joke. These things I'm telling you about, I'm saying them lightly like this. I think that unfortunately, when people experience it, that is when they understand the magnitude of it. Parental alienation can strip you of an otherwise healthy child. If I say healthy child, like a normal child, can become psychotic, like can become psychologically distressed. Behavior can be awful. The child, it doesn't matter if the child is intelligent, it can become some messy stuff for the kids. You don't want to lose a child to the system because of how you groomed them on their foundation and implanted hate and bitterness into them. The time you should be busy drawing them to you. What do you need? Kissing them, hugging them. Let's look at this, your assignment. How do we do it? Do you understand it? Do you need help to get it going so the kids will do better in school? You are busy engaging in tarnishing another parent. So all they are sitting there worrying is how to plan evil. Like you are putting in their brain every second you're teaching these kids how to plan evil against their own parents. Can you imagine how that affects them? You can't imagine, but I'm telling you, somebody that has lived this life, you'll be living it for a very long time. You can live it for a very long time. Very unhealthy phenomenon. So if I have one gift to give to a parent, is to educate you on what it is. I want to pride myself to saying that I am the first African that started talking about parental alienation. Because I haven't seen anybody yet that has talked about this phenomenon. It's happening in our community, in our lives, everyday life. However, nobody's talking about it. When you come, you see the lady that Cecilia that was talking about her panic attacks, and after a divorce, married now, and still she wakes up in the middle of the night and having panic attacks, and she's talking in distress. That is how parental alienation is. You're going to be living it for the rest of your life. It is not a healthy situation to engage or expose your kids to parental alienation. So anxiety, like we said, is brought on by a feeling of fear and constant worry. So the kids are their brain is constantly occupied and worrying about all the change and thinking about the fear of the unknown and thinking about what could possibly happen next. Are we going to lose our home? Are you going to stay here? Will we see our dad again? Will we ever see our mom again? And all these 10,000 questions is rolling in their brain. You understand? It's rolling in their brain. And they don't know how to deal with it. And all this fear is causing a sense of what? Dread and what? An internal restlessness. PTSD. Constantly being terrified, constantly having nightmares. You don't want that. Restlessness leading to what? Leading the sufferer to figure out a way to manage the feeling on their own. Imagine putting your child through all this. You are not also there showing love. You are not there providing support. So as you are always on the go, trying to go and work and bring the money, yet you are causing parental alienation. And you are not there to even provide support. So the child will have a sense of calm. But after you infuse and ingest all the hate and the animosity and the practices that will cause them to hate this other parent is not there. You are preventing his involvement or her involvement, so he'll be there for the children. And you too, you get up, you are gone. So the child is just walking in the world with no love, no attention, no nurturing. They raise themselves. It can be a painful experience. If you have never gone through that, I don't want you to ever go through it. When I heard Jacko, and I'm saying here we don't talk about that, but when I heard Jacko said that, I will tell these kids that you are this and that until they turn 18. A gun that shot in my heart. It was not a small gun, because I know the impact of how that psychological grooming, psychological manipulation is going to lead these kids. It's not a healthy situation. It's not. For you to engage in parental alienation, it's not a healthy situation. If I have one gift for you, it's to teach you to deceive from it. Okay? It doesn't matter if the father is not involved. Don't alienate them. It's better you let them, teach them where their fathers are, so that eventually you don't have to justify, explain to them why their father is not involved. Arm them, provide them the tools. Be there. Come, let's send your daddy email. You know what you're doing. Come, let's send your daddy email. Ask them. So, as you started doing that, even from 5 years old, let's send daddy email and ask him to buy you clothes. Daddy never responds. Daddy never send an email. Every time you say, yeah, I keep sending. I'm not sure if daddy sees it or not, but let's keep doing it. One day, that daddy will not come and say, oh, your mom prevented me. That child will know that, mom always send you email and ask that you should do this. I need this, I need that. But we never heard back from you. So all those stories they will tell will not reach anywhere. The worst thing you want to do to yourself is raise kids by yourself. And then when they get older, they won't be there for you because they feel like you have stripped them of something important. And what is that? Their DNA. Having a mother and a father is an identity thing for kids. It's their right. You don't have to strip them off it. If you do, you are going to pay consequences for it. You're going to lose your kids, and on top of that, not only would you lose your kids from your relationship, I assume, but you will lose your kids to the system. Because when the behaviors start coming, they can end up in jail. They can become mentally impaired, that they have the psychological distress will cause them to end up in group homes, in mental health homes. It's not fun. Parental alienation is not. It's a serious situation. It's a serious mental health. It causes serious mental health problems in children, and it can lead on to even adulthood. The ability not to trust. Look at the amount of insults raised on people on social media. You know the psychological impact it has. Very bad. So you can imagine having to put a child through that, a child that is younger than we are, through that. You know the harmful effects. They will have poor grades, they cannot sleep, they have just overall unhealthy habits, behavior, everything. I live this life. I have wonderful kids. But sometimes when the parental alienation symptoms, behaviors get in the way, it's not a joke. It's not a joke. So I'm praying and I'm asking God to guide us and guide our hearts and help us to understand that alienating your children from their father or their mother is like you are killing them. You are not helping them in any way. Why don't you leave the bitterness and talk about you and the mother or the father's issue separate from the kids, without letting that affect how the kids relate to one or the other? Think about it. Okay. So you say anxiety is a defense mechanism that leaves a lasting legacy that has to be dealt with or it will last far longer than childhood. I said that already. If you don't stop these things, this you will see a child that when they see their father, then they are clenching their teeth, then they are shaking their feet, then you see them, then they are like this, then they are kind of guiding. Parental alienation is serious. It gives people serious anxiety. It gives children serious anxiety. And like these lawyers are saying, it can lead to even adulthood. And if you watch my parental alienation videos on YouTube earlier on, like 2 years ago back, right? The mother of parental alienation research, I forgot that I have to go and study all those things and refresh my mind on those names again. She said it is what? It is a crime against a child. Like I forgot the words she used. It is not a healthy situation. You are harming your kids. I can't stress that enough. You see from parental alienation. Mental health situations can come. Your children can end up in incarcerations. A lot can happen. You don't want that. You don't want that. Okay. They say it can have a lasting what? It can leave a lasting legacy. You want your child to live on and be living in managing anxiety that you caused, you nurtured, you cultivated in them. They live not trusting, not having healthy trusting relationships. Who caused it? Now you. Managing these feelings can come out one way or the other, meaning it can come out of nowhere. When you train the child to not trust another parent, they become guarded. They can't trust even the outside world, the external world. When they are somebody is there, they are always guarded. They are always looking their back. They are always paranoid. Like, what if? What if? You don't want your kids to live like that, do you? Okay. Then, unfortunately, many opt for drugs. That's true. Or alcohol to numb the pain, the emotional pain, psychological pain associated with parental alienation. They sought to numb it with drugs. They sought to numb it with what? Alcohol. And that is how you get to lose your kids to the system. Now they have to engage in unhealthy habits, unhealthy practices with their friends, behavior issues, conduct disorder, defiance disorders. If you are not careful, you will lose your child to the system. The child knows that the influencing parent puts pressure on them, requiring an allegiance. Yes, it is an allegiance because you coach them to hate this person, so they will have ties. They will create a bond with you. They will form an allegiance to you. They will find you want them to be loyal to you and stick to the coaching, the things you told them, so that they will say the same things to the court to benefit you, to harm the other parent, lie about the other parent. So the people who engage in it, they do that so they can form an allegiance with this child. It's not that they like the child though. Wait till the court is done. Soon as the court is done, that's when they show these kids their true self. You understand? That's where they show these kids their true selves. In most circumstances, children have the innate, like the intrinsic desire to please their parents, especially a parent that is their main caretaker. So you know how they feel like they owe you loyalty. They feel like my kids sometimes will tell you, "Oh, I don't want to offend you." No, they say what? I don't want you to feel bad. I said no. You having your father is your right. It's okay to go to your father. It's okay when you want to see your father. It's absolutely okay. That's got nothing to do with what? Me. That is your father. He gave birth to you. So if you want to go to him, anytime you want to go, just let me know. I don't prevent them from going. I don't force them to not go or go. But they are at the point where they make their own decision. If they want to go, I'll take them. There were instances I even would take them. They will not get out of the car. And all this, their dad didn't even know that we were there. But I made efforts for them to have a relationship with him. That way, I don't get to be blamed. Because I'm not going to be suffering raising you so you have a better future. And at the end of the day, I get to be blamed for mistakes that were done by somebody. No, no, no. I cannot take responsibility for somebody's actions. I won't do that. So that's why it's important for you to get these things I'm saying. If anything I say you don't understand, explain it. Ask me to explain it. Hello, 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 Na. Hi, Miss Bowie. You understand? It is absolutely okay to stop me and ask me a question. I would stop and answer. You see, the child knows that the influencing parent puts pressure on them, requiring an allegiance to them. In most circumstances, children have the innate desire, the intrinsic desire to please their parents, especially the person who is their primary caregiver. I explained that already. But when they do that, because they don't want to hurt your feelings, kids sometimes want to see their father or they want to see their mother, the absentee parent, but they don't want to hurt you, the primary caregiver's feelings. So they will say, oh, it's okay, I don't want to. No, explain to them why it's important and explain to them that your feelings won't be hurt. It's absolutely okay for them to go be with their father, okay? It's absolutely okay. All right. In most circumstances, children have okay, we read that already. In addition to the pressure that you place on these children. Oh, thank you so much, Miss James. Thank you so much. God bless you. Thank you for the stars. You see what I'm saying? So, in addition to the pressure that you place on this child to form an allegiance with you, to have an affiliation with you, to be on your team against the mother or the father that's supposed to also have a healthy relationship, loving, engaging relationship with. That pressure you put on that child to please the influencing parent, it affects the child to the point where the child can become what? Ridden with guilt. The child will be full of guilt. We explained that part already. The guilt is they see the other parent and they are so much buried and swallowed and drowned in guilt. What is guilt? How does guilt affect your brain and your psychological health? How does it affect your conscience? When you know you are wrong and you are wronging somebody that truly love you wholeheartedly and will do anything, killing themselves for you. How is this affecting our children? Think about it. Think about it. The child can become, full of guilt due to the alienating of the other parent. Guilt and anger. I'm telling you that anger, when it's a very serious situation. You don't want that for your children. I'm so passionate about EPA Worldwide because I know the significant damage it does from parental alienation does from to your children. So it says that it is important to recognize signs and symptoms or syndromes. No, signs and symptoms of children experiencing anxiety. They can come in the form of all this list I'm coming to show you. How do you identify that your child is having anxiety? I've shown you some of them where they clench their teeth, they stand in a stand, they stand like they are guarding themselves, they stand like chest out, hiding, but kind of protective of themselves, the gestures that they do, the sleepless nights, the nightmares. These are serious, real situations that children that have been exposed to parental alienation, they deal with. Anger and aggression. If I tell you anger and aggression is real, you better believe it. You can have a child that is so sweet and milky 1 second. Next minute, oh, it's off the roof. You don't want to deal with that. You don't want to have a child that will go to school and be exhibiting these symptoms and directing it at other people's kids. You don't want to do that. Bedwetting, a child that is all potty trained, a child that is independent. You'll be surprised. School age, middle school, they'll start bedwetting again. They are potty trained, they are gone past that age, but they will regress, they will deteriorate. They will regress in their developmental age and start bedwetting. You should know that child have some level of anxiety. You can be talking to you, standing, and they will start peeing themselves. Be careful. That child, start talking to somebody. Get the child that some help. Changes in appetite. Absolutely. It's either they are eating more or they are eating less. Think about it. This is so true. Thank you so much, Miss James. You see what I'm saying? Unfortunately, some of this, when I'm teaching, when it comes to abuse, parental alienation, and these things, it seems to me like there is no amount of teaching you will do. People don't get it. They'll either gaslight you, alienate you, or use it against you because you are alone. You don't have support. The alienator recruits people, the friends, family, to be on his side because they have cooked up stories and served them very hot and palatable. And those stories are bought and accepted over you telling the truth. And this can be lifelong. It can, for the rest of your life, that is the life you're going to have to live. So all you have to do is try to make it about the kids. After that, form healthy associations. You don't have to be associating with people that are in your circle, people that know you from your past. That is where the problem is because these people have already received and accepted cooked up stories about you that are not true, but otherwise believable. You understand? Fatigue. These children that have anxiety. Imagine a child that don't sleep, having getting up every night, having panic attacks, having nightmares. What do you think will happen in the morning when you're supposed to be active and going to school? They'll be dragging their feet, they'll be drowned, they'll be tired, they'll be, think about it. Out of character behavior, like getting into trouble at school or poor performance academically. So realistic. So realistic. So at that time, they don't even want to make effort to do well. It can be very detrimental. Headaches. Your child is not sleeping. Have changes in appetite. You think they're not going to have headaches? They will because of the pressure, the stress on them, thinking constantly, school, mommy and daddy's fights and this and that. How healthy is that to a child? Irritability, so real. They'll be irritable, which goes with the anger and aggression. Focus becomes a problem. If you are not careful, the school will start targeting them and labeling them with anxiety, not anxiety, ADHD, autism spectrum, that, Asperger's syndrome, all of that. But this is being nurtured and caused because of a parent that pretends to love this child in the wrong way, in the manipulative, psychologically damaging way, grooming the child psychologically to form an allegiance with them and force them to be loyal to them and present to them as though they cared when they didn't know nothing about caring. Think about it. Nervous habits. I just told you how they stand and they be, they see you, your child be sitting and they have almost like restless leg syndrome. Restless leg syndrome. They'll be shaking their feet, leg will be shaking, they'll be bouncing their legs. Think about it. Nightmares. So we talk about that. So nervous habits such as nail biting. Yeah, sometimes they will be biting their nails. Sometimes they will be pricking on their skin. Self-injurious habits. Okay. Nightmares, refusing to go to school. Yes. Okay. Social withdrawal, very, very, very common. All the symptoms we have in anxiety, you see it in them. Lack of interest. in previously enjoyed activities, things that they used to enjoy before, friendships and stuff, they will withdraw from it. They wouldn't have any interest in doing that. When it's getting there, know that you have to be consulting with a therapist, somebody with their GP or their PCP that will look into referring them for maybe a therapy session or something to help them overcome depression and anxiety. Stomach aches. We talk about that. If you're following me, you know how anxiety affects your abdominal muscles. Stomach aches and panic, crumbles. Okay. Trouble concentrating, worse. They are never focused. They always move here and move here. They want to do the wrong things for attention. They will never focus and do anything that is healthy, no matter what. It's always about what can I do next to get the attention I need. They're always calculating their next move. And they will do everything wrong just to get that attention. Think about it. So social withdrawal, lack of interest in previously enjoyed activities, stomach aches, trouble concentrating, right, that we talk about, insomnia, or we've been talking about that, the nightmares, the waking up at night in terror, waking up with tears, crying, is very, very common. Panic attacks, you know it, they're going to have anxiety, they're going to have panic attacks, you know that, right? OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder, yes, they have become obsessed to that parent that is with them. They form the allegiance with, and then they become obsessed to direct hate, animosity, and disgust at the other parent. Think about it. That's not him. I don't think it's our neighbors. The list goes on. The best advice is to stay in tune with your child and acknowledge unusual behaviors. Okay, there was somebody posting something about what I have to block them quickly. You see, so OCD, they're gonna, like I said, obsession to directing hate, anger, animosity towards one parent, and an obsession towards this parent they're forming allegiance with. The list goes on. The best advice is to stay in tune with your child and acknowledge unusual behaviors. So paying attention to the child and making sure they are okay, observing for these signs, and even more, anything that is unusual, unhappiness, like sadness, they want to isolate, stay by themselves all the time. You need to pay attention to those so that you can be intervening early to help them out, and so that they don't get drowned in it to the point where they're going to end up with medication. You don't want that. This medication can become a lifelong thing. Who want to be taking medication forever? We are struggling to take vitamins at our age. And can you imagine taking these other medications and add them and their side effects into your life? Okay. In all family situations, dealing with emotional changes such as divorce or separation, it is advisable to seek professional counseling. I've been saying that, right? From what? A therapist that specializes in the subject matter. It is especially important to seek professional counseling for a child that has experienced parental alienation to help them learn to deal with their feeling in a healthy manner. If you are experiencing parental alienation, it is important to seek the appropriate legal counsel immediately. The fact of the matter is that it is not just you at risk, which is a fact. It's not just you at risk. Your children are the most at risk of experiencing uneasy high anxiety, uneasy feeling, this a feeling of guilt, anger, sadness, the mood swings. The kids are most at risk. So understand that whilst you are feeling that way, if you are adding parental alienation to it because you are angry at the other parent, or you are going, because I don't want to pay child support. So you want to groom them, manipulate them to do these things. so that the court, they'll come and say, oh, I don't want to be with this parent, I want to be with you. My dear, you're hurting that child, because they have 10 folds. If you are going through anxiety, whatever anxiety you are going through, understand that the researchers are saying the kids have 10 folds of that, 10 folds of that kind of level of anxiety you have about the situation. Okay, children have enough to deal with these days. There is no reason to add an unnecessary anxiety to them. Okay, so that is it really. This is what like I said, this one is a short one. I wanted to talk about the extent to which parental alienation can increase anxiety in children that are exposed to parental alienation. Parental alienation, by now you will understand it. Parental alienation syndrome is any child that has been exposed to parental alienation and has experienced parental alienation. Yeah. Okay, so that brought you to the end of the lecture today. Okay, so today is brief. We're talking about parental alienation and anxiety, how they relate, how parental alienation affects and causes increased anxiety in children. If you are new here, once again, my name is Mamle Godwis. I'm a psychiatric nurse practitioner. I'm a single mother of 2 boys. I am a proud divorcee, and I have somewhat survive parental alienation, because I still deal with parental alienation on a day-to-day basis. However, I use it as an opportunity to teach, to raise awareness, and to force you to take advantage of whatever I'm going through and not repeat it in your lives, in your kids' life, in your family life, so that you can have a healthy child, raise healthy children that will become responsible, cognitively normal, mentally unimpaired children, and not have to deal with all these things that parental alienation comes with: depression, substance use, anxiety, inability to trust, personality disorders. You nurture these things in their kids. You don't have anybody to blame but yourself. But you know what? It's not too late. You can change it. You can change the story and make it right by your kids. All right? Any questions? Let's see. I wish I am doing this on the computer so that I send the link to somebody. Anybody who wants to join, they can just join. I don't know how to do it, to do that. Okay, to make it fun. So we are done. We are done. If you have not liked this video yet, kindly take the opportunity to like this video for me. Leave a comment. When I end the live, what will happen is that it will play. It will, how do you call it? It will, this will close. This window for the live chat will close, and then the area that we're gonna have is gonna be the normal chat. So kindly go there, and if you have any question, leave it there for me so I can see it, read it, and respond to it. I think we are done for today. Thank you so much, Miss Cole, for bringing your hats from Facebook to YouTube, bringing your stars to YouTube. I appreciate you. So guess what, everybody? Kindly help me, support me by a free subscription to this channel. Turn on your notification, like my video, share my video so somebody will benefit from it. We are a little bit after 1 hour and I don't want it to be so long. So we're gonna end here, and you have a wonderful night. I will see you on Facebook whenever I do. You know I will, right? Yes, I love you so much, and I'm gonna look into it and see what we're doing coming Sunday. The psychoeducation class continues on Sundays. We're gonna be having it now on YouTube. Okay, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So let me look and see the next topic. We did episode 6. So we are going to episode 7. Episode 7. I don't know. I'm going to look into it, and I'm going to set it up. I'm setting it up on Facebook, but I also set it up here on YouTube. And when the time comes, I will just invite Facebook people to join it here. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Oh, Miss Wendy, I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for the 10 Californian dollar. Thank you. So, oh, you are I said California, Canada. We are in Canada. I didn't know that. Thank you so much. I thought you were in Europe or something. Thank you so much for the stars, for the YouTube stars. Facebook stars are now YouTube stars. Yeah, YouTube specs. Super chat. Yeah, YouTube super chat. YouTube has super chat. You know, I used to have the super chat stickers for for everybody, depending on how much you gave. I need to get my son to set it up. You know, I haven't been active here, so I think YouTube just dismantled my setups. They even took my community tab away. But I think now that I'm going to be doing the lives here, I'll get my community tab back. I'll be very grateful. I can post there just like I post on Facebook. You know, YouTube is a little bit more disciplined than Facebook. So I think it would be nice to have my community tab back. All right. So thank you guys so very much. Be one of our sponsors, like Miss Wendu, Miss Terako. Miss Terako is like our big sponsor of our EPA Worldwide programs. All right. When you go to Facebook, subscribe to the page. It's $4.99 a month. It's not that much. Yes, I know. I don't want to say it's not that much, but there is a reason why I didn't go for $9.99, because I want to make it cheap and easy for everybody to afford to support the mission, so we can continue raising awareness and help many families out there. All right. I miss you. I wish it's Facebook, like we can continue gisting here, but here it's kind of different. Okay. So sorry we can't continue, but I want it to be short too. 1 hour, 6 minutes is enough. I don't want it to be too long than that. I love you so much. Okay. If you think I don't, then you are lying to yourself. For me, I do. Turn on your notification, subscribe, like my video, share my video to your WhatsApp status, your WhatsApp groups, and let somebody benefit from it. Let somebody know that parental alienation is happening in marriages too. And so they shouldn't think that they are exempted from it. Just divorce people. We are always the people facing the stigma. You know, parental alienation is happening in marriages also. All right. Let's desist from it. It's not helpful to our children. It's us destroying our children's life with that. I hope that the church has listened and the church says Amen. Amen. Have a lovely night. I love you. Good night.